everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tiffany Benson, one part of Team Benson, and today is going to be a busy day. It's a loud day, as you guys can hear. The cicadas are out again, so hopefully that means rain sometime soon, although it's not supposed to be that anytime in the forecast. We got up to 118 degrees yesterday. It was super hot, but my seedlings were out and I want to show you guys what they look like. I'm heading out to the worm farm today. Motorcycles. I'm heading out to the worm farm today so that I can get some worm tea and also some eggs, because that's where I get my eggs from. But I'll show you guys the seedlings right now. So all of these, the squash and the pumpkin, will be going in the ground tomorrow, which you guys will see this video on Sunday. So when I'm putting them in the ground, they'll go out, or this video will go out. But the okra will stay. I'm gonna let the okra get a little bit bigger, just in its little home that it's in, and then once it gets a little bit bigger and gets a little bit more leaves, then I'll plant the okra out. The tomatoes too, I'm also are going to let live in there for a while. The tomatoes I have been bringing back and forth, inside and outside, because they are getting a little bit sunburned on a little bit of the edges. So they will stay in there for a while until they get a lot bigger, because those I plan on putting in the ground in the fall. So just so you guys can see how the beans held through 118 degrees, they are doing pretty well. We got a few sun skull issues, but they're doing pretty well. And they also have gotten really tall, guys. Like, these things are really tall. Alright, so I'm gonna grab all of my jars, or my jugs, which if you guys have jugs like these, they will give you, I think it's $1 off. So make sure you bring your jugs when you go get your worm tea. So I'm gonna go get my worm tea, and then I had some questions about people asking me how to make worm tea. I don't make my own worm tea. I just buy it from the AZ Worm Farm, because you have to have a bubbler. So I'm gonna show you what their bubbler looks like. I know you can make one on your own with just a bucket and the oxygenator, I think is what it's called, in a fish tank. But I'll show you what it looks like once I get there. So I am back, and I have one of these just kind of like sprayers that I got from either, I don't know if I got it from Amazon, Home Depot, or Lowe's, one of those. I know they all have it. I'll find it on Amazon and put in a link down for you guys, but I know Home Depot and Lowe's has it too as well. So I talked to the people at the Arizona Worm Farm, which is where I got my worm tea and some eggs, which that picture that I posted just for you guys, it is a picture of the big bubbler. So that thing is constantly blowing air through it, and it kind of aerates the compost tea, which is what activates the bacteria and makes it do its job. So you have to use it within a certain amount of time of getting it, otherwise it just goes back to all the bacteria dies. So they suggested, since it's so hot in Arizona, to do a foliage feed, which is basically I'm just going to take this and spray the leaves of my plants. So that's what I'm going to do. These little pump sprays make life easy, because you just pump them and then it pressurizes it, and then you just psh, and life is easy. And then I'm going to take the other gallon that I got, and I'm going to mix that with some fish fertilizer, and then that is going to go onto the base of the plants. But for the meantime, just for my starts, I'm just going to use the compost tea on them. Now, when you're just kind of spraying the plant, you want to make sure that you spray all of the leaves and then underside the leaves too as well, and then also the stem. Apparently that will also help a lot with any type of insect protection and giving the whole plant just a little bit more of protection and more kind of just defense. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to the rest of the garden too, with all the plants that I have, and then I will be back to mix up the fertilizer that's going to go on the base of the soil. Okay, so now that that is done, which I found my pepper plant, one of them, my last red bell pepper plant is getting eaten, guys. So I'm not sure what's eating it, and I'm wondering if it was something to do with the plant maybe not being as healthy, because those are 3 more that I had got from Lowe's, and 2 out of the 3 have been eaten down to nothing. So I'm thinking that since my other pepper plants are not getting affected, and since the noodle bean plants that are right next to the pepper plants are not getting eaten, I'm thinking it has something to do with the pepper plant. So it's making me a little less worried about putting out my starts. But back to making now our fertilizer. I am going to put about a couple of teaspoons. I never really measure anything, so just maybe a couple teaspoons of the, maybe that was a tablespoon, of the fish fertilizer, which I use the Alaskan version of fish fertilizer. You can get this at Home Depot, Lowe's, or Amazon. And then I'm not going to dilute the worm tea. I'm just going to pour it right in here and mix it up together. And try not to splash this all over myself, since I do have a meeting later on today and I don't want to smell like fertilizer. So now I'm just going to give this a stir, and then I'm going to put it on my plants. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish putting that on all of the other plants, and then I'm going to take a moment just to water everything in, just to ensure that everything's getting enough water. That's why I'm going to do that. But I will meet you guys inside so that I can show you guys what I'm doing with my onions. Alright guys, so I'm back in the house and I have onions. So if you guys saw my video yesterday, you saw that I dehydrated soup, and I'm done dehydrating for right now. So now I'm moving on to freezing before I water bath can, and then before I pressure can. So I'm trying to do things in steps so that I can get everything done. I did leave and I got something so cool that I will show you guys in my next video, but I'm really excited about it. So for my onions, you can dehydrate onions, but they will leave a smell in your dehydrator like nobody's business. And a smell in your house that will take forever to go away. So what I prefer to do is freeze my onions. I dice them up or I slice them up, so I give myself options. So I have slices and I have dices, and then I just put them in the freezer. Now one thing about my onions is that I like to use sweet onions. Those are my favorite. And I will save the skins. So the skins, the outside of the skins and the first kind of like layer, I do put that in a freezer bag and I save that for my stock. So when you guys are making stock, any type of skins or anything like that that comes from your onions, your garlic, your carrot tops, everything like that, save all that stuff, guys, for your chicken stock and your beef stock. So here's a tip for you when you are dicing up 2 full bags of onions like me. Get yourself one of these. They're a little chopper that has like a little grid in them. And you basically just stick the onion on top. I cut it in half, stick it on top, and clap, and the onion pieces go into here. This makes life so much easier, so much quicker, and you cry way less. So then it has just a little emptier, and you just empty it into a plastic bag, like a freezer bag, or you could do a jar, or you could do whatever you have, and then just label it and pop it in the freezer. So I hope that helps. I hope that gives you guys some ideas. I hope you guys are fertilizing your starts that are starting to get some true leaves. My hands actually smell like fish fertilizer because I accidentally spilled some on there, and that is a smell that doesn't go away. But until next time, make sure you guys subscribe and share our videos. We are getting so close to our 2,000 subscriber mark, which is our next goal, and we will have our next giveaway at our 2,000 subscriber mark, which I will announce pretty soon coming up here. But until next time, grow yourselves a garden, because even a small space can provide you with tons of food. Bye guys.